So hello beautiful people, my name is Shahzan Ahmad and I hope you guys must be doing great in life. So today I'm going to talk about the summary of the book of 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. So without any further ado, let's take a deep dive into it. So first of all, if I talk about the premise of this book, then I would say it's a very beautiful and simple tale of an old man called Edward, aka Eddie, who works at an amusement park called Ruby Pyre, and he lives a very lonely and miserable life. And the reason being, his family has passed away and so has his wife, so he does not have anybody to love in his life, you could say, right? And then what happens is, like, one day there is a kind of like an accident takes place at the park, and he loses his life. And when he loses his life, so he directly goes to the heaven. And when he reaches the heaven, so he meets 5 people over there, and surprisingly those 5 people are related to him, and they tell him the reasons behind why certain things happen to him. So as Eddie meets those 5 people and talk to them, so he realizes that how meaningful his life was on the earth. So this is what the basic crux of this book. Okay, now if I talk about the characters of this book, and especially the character of our protagonist Eddie, then I would say it's very relatable. I mean, we relate to this character a lot because we think we are also like Eddie, because at some point we are not given the love that we deserve. At some point we are not given the enough opportunities that we deserve. Okay, and if I talk about the rest of the characters, like Eddie's father, Eddie's mother, or Eddie's wife, then even those characters are also beautifully written, you could say. Now if I talk about the philosophies of this book, then I would say this book follows 2 philosophies. The first philosophy is the philosophy of whatever happens to you in life, it happens for a reason. Sometimes something happens to us and we are unable to make sense of it, but later on, very often, when we look back at our life, so everything makes sense, right? And the second philosophy this book talks about is the philosophy of no matter whatever you do in your life, be it a small thing or a big thing, this is always going to impact the other people, sometimes positively, sometimes negatively, or sometimes we are not even aware about this thing, right? So now finally, if I talk about the author of this book, who is Mitch Albom, then I would say he's one of the most inspiring authors I have ever read in my life. I remember reading his another book, Tuesdays with Maury, and I still have this physical copy of this book available. Okay, I think this is a kind of like a book I have read, as you could see, in the year 2022. I think perhaps it is not showing it. Okay, anyhow, this book I have read in the year 2022 on 21st August, right? So yeah, so even this book was also quite inspiring. I have read this book at that time in my life when I was going through some crisis. So all in all, my experience of reading this book was great. I think you should definitely pick up this book and give it a read. It won't disappoint you, and it will just feel like a warm hug. Okay, so until then, do take care of yourself. Bye bye and see ya, and may God always bless you. May God always bless you, and keep reading in your life. Okay, so bye bye.